Now, similarly, a grandiose narcissist will find the challenge of your strong character, the challenge that it offers, compelling and irresistible. Again, initially, until they aren't getting their way, that is. Then your strength and personal power become a big problem, which of course will frustrate the narcissist to no end and therefore justify in their minds any retaliatory behavior on their part. So remember, if you're being targeted by a destructive narcissist in any way, it's likely because you bring a lot of good stuff to the table. You're not only highly empathic, but also deeply loving, kind, decent, and good. Not perfect, for sure, but good. And you have a lot of good stuff going for you. In essence, you're the exact opposite of what the narcissist is. So, your strength and personal power and all the things that make you amazing are very attractive for the narcissist in the beginning. For no other reason than they are always operating from a what's in it for me perspective. The problem, however, is that narcissists have to exert authority over others. They also have to create and maintain a perception of superiority, no matter how false that perception of superiority may actually be in reality. So, needless to say, sooner or later, your strength and personal power are going to become very problematic for a destructive narcissist. Depending on the circumstances, sometimes that'll become really obvious very quickly, and in other cases, it'll be immediate, instantaneous. You can see you triggered them. And then other times, it'll take longer for it to manifest as an actual issue in the relationship. And when it does, you'll know because the shift will be real. Now, although a covert narcissist may be able to hide their fear, envy, and insecurity that your strength and personal power have triggered within them for a time, a more overt narcissist will swing from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde on a dime. They won't likely be able to hide their triggers or wounded egos so easily. In my experience, all narcissists are both phony and sneaky. But a covert narcissist, well, they bring a little extra to the party in that regard. Now, that said, it's important to remember that narcissistic people need to be in a position of dominance and control over others. All is well as long as they're getting their way and getting their needs met. But the moment that's not the case, look out. Once they're not getting their way, once it becomes clear that they're not in control, once you're not complying, or God forbid you accidentally show them up somehow, well, what happens is, whether you realize it or not, their ego takes a hit, and sometimes a big hit. And it's important for you to know that it's their stuff, not yours. If they can't gaslight you into some form of submission, compliance, or feelings of inferiority, if they can't manipulate, dominate, or control you, then given the limited tools that they have to work with in their emotional and psychological toolbox, they'll be left with no other choice than to target you differently, more passively, maybe, but just as destructively, if not even more so than their direct tactics. Remember, they're fake, they're phony, and they are liars. They lie by omission as well as lie outright. And they do so with tremendous ease and zero guilt, shame, or remorse. So they have no problem showing up and pretending that all is well, while they're simultaneously smearing you to smithereens the moment your back is turned. And it doesn't matter the relationship dynamic. Narcissistic parents do this to their children that they can't manipulate or control. And of course, narcissistic in laws jump at the chance to do this as quickly as possible, lest anyone else in the family see the newcomer in a favorable light. They don't like that. And narcissistic siblings? Well, they do this as well as narcissistic relatives, friends, bosses, ex lovers, and spouses. They all do this all day long, and for no other reason than to cover up their own horrific relationship crimes. So remember that.